Is this the last time we will see Camron and Chrissy Lampkin? What were they concealing that may contradict what we believe to be true about them? Crucially, what transpires when Jim Jones, the master of truthfulness, learns? You won't believe what transpired behind closed doors, but believe me, the truth is, Camron and Chrissy Lampkin together on a covert trip, with Jim Jones unaware, is more juicy than any of us could have ever dreamed. Oh, it's not only a who tipped off the public? It's an expose, a dispute so intense that not even the paparazzi could get close enough to capture it, to the situation where the repercussions that will ensue is the only thing hotter than their secrets. This isn't simply a romantic evening, this is the secret that things are going to get really filthy. So buckle up and stay with us as we delve into the scandal that nobody anticipated between Camron and Chrissy. Jim Jones is unhappy about Lampkin's secret night out being found, but that's only the beginning. Don't go far. This vacation is just getting started. Storyline. No one noticed Chrissy Lampkin and Camron, two personalities who have often been the center of attention in the hip-hop business. Yet they have managed to keep a very significant secret for a long time and continue to make raps. But all secrets eventually surface. And when they do, they tend to create a storm. And guess what? The storm has come. Camron, the Harlem rapper who has been making waves in the industry for years with his sharp-witted, outspoken, and known for his distinctive Cam persona, he never backs down from a scandal. If anyone can stay ahead of the drama, it's him. However, he was unprepared for what was going to happen at the time. Next is Chrissy Lampkin, the tough and unrepentant reality TV star who is most known for her appearance on Love and Hip Hop. You would think that she would have learned a few things about avoiding the spotlight after all of her public drama with Jim Jones. But nevertheless, here we are, a night out that was completely unnoticed by everyone, a night that would eventually come back to haunt them both. How did it all begin? For weeks, there have been whispers in the hip-hop industry's shadows that something wasn't right. According to others who know them, Camron and Chrissy Lampkin have been acting differently and spending more time together, not in a pleasant or straightforward way. No, this was different from how old friends typically behaved. This was clandestine, and when two well-known individuals like Camron and Chrissy, Jim Jones's reaction to Camron and Chrissy Lampkin spending time together without him was entirely expected, and Lampkin began to go unnoticed. Always been a little protective of his people, and if you don't think he's been keeping tabs on Camron and Chrissy Lampkin's whereabouts, you're living under a rock. The relationship between Camron and Chrissy Lampkin has been complicated since the beginning. They have both experienced hardship. Jim Jones is a huge fan of hip-hop celebrities and the never-ending media circus, but when they find themselves unexpectedly involved in something so secret, that's when things start to become really intriguing. What might they be doing behind closed doors that they were unable to disclose to the public? More importantly, why was Jim the last to learn? To understand the complexity of this situation, we must first review the history. Camron and Jim Jones were once Thick-Ass's closest co-founders of the renowned Dip Group, friends and business partners. They dominated the hip-hop scene together, operating like a well-oiled machine. But as time went on, old friendships started to fall apart, and loyalty was questioned. Was this a covert reunion between Camron and Chrissy? The Harlem connection has always been close-knit, even familial, but when you throw Chrissy in, the scene becomes murky. Adding someone with a complicated background with Jim Jones to the mix is a recipe for disaster. And when Jim learns, well, let's just say it's not going to be kind. But don't simply believe us. Exclusive information has already started to emerge from sources with knowledge of the situation, showed that Camron and Chrissy had been hanging together for weeks. Each time Jim thought she was with him, she was out living another life. Wasn't just dinner dates, as Chrissy and Camron were spotted slipping into hidden entrances at a number of upscale locations throughout the city. It sounds suspicious to go by back entrances to avoid being caught on video, but that's not the best part. There are rumors that on one of those covert nights out, things got hot and heavy. Oh, Chrissy and Camron weren't just hanging out, they were living like two single people, completely unaccountable to Jim 1. Insider also mentioned that Chrissy was becoming too close to Camron for comfort when she believed no one was watching. And at first, Jim Jones was in denial. And it wasn't just about remembering the happy days. There was something more. Jim never imagined Chrissy Lampkin would betray him in that way, particularly with Camron. But it became harder to ignore the mounting evidence. And when the reports finally made it to Jim's, it quickly becomes clear that much more is happening behind the scenes than anyone initially believed. The picture being created isn't just one of a discussed the rendezvous between Camron and Chrissy Lampkin, but it's much more complicated than that. If we dissect this dispute, we uncover something far more sinister. It seems that the truth isn't just about a covert night out, but also about deceit, treachery, and a relationship disintegrating at the scene. Take a look at the exchanges between Jim Jones and Camron Chrissy. It is unknown if Jim and Camron had years of a turbulent relationship in which they go from being best friends, co-workers, and criminal collaborators to becoming odd strangers who are each forming out his own separate careers in the music business. But in spite of their hostility, Jim and Camron have a peculiar bond with a past that neither could completely disregard. And with Chrissy now involved, things are going to get worse. What happened between Chrissy and Camron that resulted in these covered gatherings? Several sources claim that it wasn't just innocuous catching up or casual hanging out. Rather, it was purposeful and clandestine. Events that were held in some of the most upscale locations in the city, where nobody would be able to identify them. And it wasn't only about them, reminiscing about the good old days during the dip set. Period. These weren't actually more private than anyone could have anticipated. According to reports, Camron and Chrissy meet at least once in a remote home They were reportedly seen enjoying each other's company in the Hamptons a little. Too much for comfort. The rumors are getting louder, and the details more specifically. Everyone is wondering what's truly happening between Chrissy and Camron. Are they bringing up old memories? Or as according to some accounts, Chrissy Lampkin was seen acting inappropriately. She was reportedly seen smiling in a snapshot. It all seems to have been a simple misunderstanding. Do not misunderstand. Chrissy Lampkin is not new. She was joking and holding hands with Camron in ways that went far beyond simple friendliness. Chrissy has a history of expressing her emotions fully, as evidenced by her famous punch-out of Camela on Love and Hip Hop, following years of pent-up anger display with something quite different. If the reports are true, Chrissy Lampkin and Camron might be going too far. Let's not forget about the big question, Jim Jones. How did he respond when he learned? Did our insiders tell him that he wasn't as gullible as he thought? Some people think he sensed that Camron and Chrissy Lampkin were at odds, as seen by the months leading up to the covert night out, but Jim may have ignored the problem. But once, he learned the reality. It hit him like a ton of bricks. He never thought things would become this bad bricks. It's even possible that Jim was informed about Chrissy Lampkin and Camron's increasing intimacy months before he was able to confirm it. Claimed that an anonymous tip was received and that it's probable that Jim was given the information by someone in the Dips group indicating that Camron and Chrissy Lampkin were not merely hanging together. According to those close to Jim and Chrissy Lampkin, they were growing too close. Jim Jones then addressed Chrissy Lampkin. As soon as they learnt the truth, the fight was heated, to put it mildly, and Chrissy Lampkin became angry for the first time in there. Chrissy Lampkin denied having a love involvement, but insiders said that after their long history together, she seemed to lose her temper and was caught off guard. Everyone around her, especially Jim, didn't believe Camron when he claimed it was just harmless catching up. Chrissy Lampkin had been sneaking around. Jim was left pondering everything he believed he knew about the lady he's been seeing, and the fact that he's been hiding these interactions for so long just made the situation worse. Been together for years, and the effects are only beginning to be seen. There are rumors that Jim and Chrissy's relationship is currently having issues, even claiming that Jim is thinking of ending his relationship with Chrissy because of this. And while no official statements have been made yet, their tension is evident. And it's only when the world learns what's happening behind closed doors, it will only be a matter of time. But the drama doesn't stop there. Doesn't simply target one individual. Camron, who was once close to Jim and had previously defended him, is now caught in the crossfire, pondering his next course of action, given that this man is no new to controversy and has had affairs with a number of musicians over the years, but this is personal. Arguing with another rapper is one thing, but involving your close friend's spouse is an entirely different level of betrayal. Camron is said to initially appear unfazed by the situation, but as public outrage grows and fans criticize his actions, he's sure to react. The question is whether he will come clean and acknowledge anything beyond casual interactions with Chrissy, or if he will keep denying any wrongdoing. And if there's one thing we know, it's that The Dipset brand is built on loyalty, and loyalty is a big deal right now. He never apologized to Jim. ? This tale is far from over. We'll discuss the fallout from this astounding revelation, including any potential legal ramifications, in the next part. The public's response and the potential implications for Camron, Chrissy, and Jim Jones moving forward. Pay close attention, as this story is only beginning. Amid the horrifying revelations about Camron, Chrissy Layman, and Jim Jones, the storm is building in ways that no one could have predicted. It is anticipated that this debate will have far-reaching effects on the entire culture as well as the individuals concerned. It's like seeing a slow-motion train disaster unfold around the Dipset clique, the love and hip-hop brand, and the music industry as a whole hasn't even arrived at its destination yet. Let's start by talking about Jim Jones, who, according to people close to him, was caught in a tornado. The public's response to the news about Chrissy and Camron has been intense, with fans, the media, and even his own team wondering what happened. And why Jim? Many people are now wondering how Jim could have been so receptive to Chrissy and Camron's friendship developing. Was he too occupied with his own career? Or did he simply decide to disregard the hints in order to maintain harmony with his lifelong partner? The worst part is that even so, some believe Jim is handling the situation the worst because he has been largely mute despite the public outcry, which has increased mistrust, way possible by staying silent, while others believe he's holding his cards close to the vest in anticipation of the ideal moment to retaliate. There is little doubt that Jim's reputation is at stake. This is not merely a trivial celebrity dispute. Rather, it is a serious one with potentially long-term consequences. Consequences for his personal and professional life. Will this controversy be the catalyst for Jim to finally come clean and confront the matter? Or will he keep Chrissy Lewin, who is renowned for having a fiery temper, is navigating the storm in her own manner while living in the shadow of this treachery? Regarding defending her love for Jim, how is she handling this issue? According to those close to her, the public seems to be heartbroken criticism while also attempting to explain her actions. She claims that her encounters with Camron were only a reunion of old acquaintances. However, it seems to be unpopular with the public. People are curious about how far that reconnection really went, and whether Chrissy and Camron truly remained innocent. In fact, many others in their social circle have stated that it was clear that Chrissy and Camron were connected, possibly think that it transcended the innocuous catch-up story she's been pushing. Could it be that Chrissy was drawn to Camron in a way she never might have foreseen, leaving her trapped between two worlds? And then there's Camron. This is where things start to get interesting, because Camron is in a really difficult position. He has long been well known for his public image as a cunning businessman who doesn't back down from a fight and who lives in the drama. But even though the conflict with Jim has been developing for years, this incident takes things to a completely new level. The public, though he has been recording hits for years, Camron is now viewed as the man who helped dismantle one of hip-hop's biggest popular friendships, and even a relationship that many people believe to be stable. The question now is what Camron will do next. Will he continue to deny any misconduct and remain composed? Or will they reveal the true nature of his relationship with Chrissy? According to some accounts, Camron thinks there is no need for him to apologize since he is Camron, a man who has admirers and status, and does not have to answer to anyone. For the time being, Camron may be able to ignore the public outcry, but the question of how his supporters and old acquaintances react still exists. Long term, it's clear that Jim Jones and Chrissy Camron are at the center of this developing story as we continue to piece its pieces together, of a storm that doesn't seem to be abating, but the question of what the long-term effects of all of this will be is still open. Will damage their careers and relationships irreparably, or will they manage to move on? We have more questions than solutions, but one. The problem is that this dispute has the power to completely alter the dynamics of the Dipset legacy and possibly even the hip-hop and love series itself. Will Jim? It remains to be seen if they can rise above the ashes of this drama or succumb to the controversy that now hangs over his head. But we do know that because the truth is out there and that there is no way to return to the way things were before the secrets and lies were revealed. Everyone should be aware that the Camron and Chrissy story is about more than simply a night out in the dark. It's about a partnership breaking down, violation of trust, and the end of an era. It's about shattered loyalties, broken hearts, and the inevitable consequences of one night that will change everything. So now that we've seen the terrible truth, leaves us with only one unanswered question. Will Chrissy and Jim mend their ruined romance, or will they part ways? We'll all be watching this story. Can Camron and Jim ever get back together? Or has their friendship deteriorated beyond redemption? You've got it, people. The shocking betrayals, explosive secrets, and heart-stopping drama that no one would ever know expected. But we'd like to hear your thoughts on the whole Camron and Chrissy Lampkin situation. Was Jim Jones completely taken by surprise, or did what happens next? Is there any hope left for these relationships, or has everything been ruined? He simply ignores the hints. Broken beyond repair. Please share your thoughts in the space provided below. We look forward to reading each and every one of your comments. Do you think will Jim eventually speak up, or will he remain silent forever? Camron will either suffer the consequences of this issue or escape unharmed. Let's talk about it if you want to stay up to date on all the most shocking and juicy celebrity drama available. Don't forget to hit the like button and follow the channel. We have more exciting stories in store for you. Click the bell button to be the first to know when stay tuned for more astounding findings when the next video drops. The truth exists, and our purpose is to provide it to you no matter how crazy. This drama receives comments and subscriptions, is not at all